Alright, this is today's thing. I'm going to be putting a fuel level sender in here. Interface with the remote monitor I put in the other day. So we're just going to kind of scope out and look for what we got for options here. And we don't really have any. The sender's 1 inch. So usually most of these bungs are 2 inches most of the time. This one's 2. Sometimes I try to sneak in I'll tee in on one of these, but they got the battery box, so that's just not going to work. So those are out. But we don't really have any other alternatives here. A lot of times, some people they'll drill a hole and they'll put like a black iron, like a floor flange in, it's called. And they'll bolt that in, silicone it in, or whatever. But I really don't like doing that, especially on a brand new unit like this. So I think what I'm going to end up doing here is this thing needs a uninterrupted view of the fuel, because what it does, it pings like a little ultrasound signal down and then it bounces off, and then that's how it determines how much fuel is in the tank. I'm basically just going to install a big T here, and then I'm going to take this and put it on a close nipple, and it'll basically end up over here somewhere. So we still have a vent. So, all right, I'll show you more. All right, tools of the trade. So when it comes to pipe wrenches, bigger is better. So basically going to take this off. I just got this maxed out. I have a bigger one, but if I don't need it, I'm not going to go through the hassle of getting it. So there's no sense in getting this thing too crazy tight, because it's not like it's going to leak. I mean, it's going to leak out of here before it's going to leak out of here. So I don't know. So what we got is the fuel sender itself. It's a ultrasonic sender. It's got a 1 inch NPT on it. Like I said, some software that goes with this that I'll show you how to program it and stuff like that. Got to go on a quick fact finding tour here with the measurements, but I'll do all that once I get all this stuff in. And basically just get this from the supply house. So this is going to be like the setup here. Got the 2 inch T into the 1 inch here. The sender will go there. Basically, it's just going to sit in place of that vent like that, and I'm going to move that vent over to there. I'll put the sender in there, then I'll take my measurements from here once it's in. So I'll get all this pipe doped up and put in. Oh, good. See? I didn't bother putting it on. Brand new from the factory. That's all right, I don't judge. So just a little. Just open that vent. You get the point, yeah. You get the point. Well, let's just take this off here. I'm not gonna go crazy here. Obviously, we don't want it to leak. Let's use I like the white shit better, but whatever. Once it sits in your van over winter and freezes it, I don't know, it kind of fucks it up. It separates and shit, but this is fairly new. So, it's not gonna cover the whole thing. Just gonna do like the first part of it. So it's no pressure here. This is just a vent. In the case that this thing overflowed, I really think it leaking out of here is the worst of the least of their issues. There's no real way it can overflow unless the guy puts the nozzle in and goes in and takes a fucking dump or something. It's not like anything fills this, so just give it a good little fucking lavvo. Be careful, these are sharp as fuck, man. So I'll put that in there like that. Take this off of here for now. Basically, every joint's gonna need tape. This one's going in first. Some more fucking doping. Try to So then that'll go in the hole.
Oh, I'm always worried about it. Clearing everything, that's why I'm not putting it together first for all the fucking brainiacs up there. There we go. Jesus, fuck, that was embarrassing. So we'll tighten the ever-living hell out of that. With the pipe wrench on there. Get a nice tight.
Coming to a crossroads here when we're tightening this thing. You gotta be able to make the determination of where I want this, where you want it. So this, I literally want pointed like right here. So I can't make it around again, I know that. So this is gonna be it. I'm not gonna be able to make it around one more time. But I think I'm gonna have to put it like this. That's how it's gonna have to go. Oh, that might be a problem. Let's see, we gotta kind of dry fit it, make sure it's gonna fit. Yuckers. Well, I like to show you everything, even the screw ups. So that's clearly not gonna work. You can see the problem here. So we're gonna have to switch the plan up a little bit, which isn't a big deal. I'm just gonna tighten it a little bit more so it's over in an open area where I can have room to just barely clear that. Just like this. Probably go like that. That's probably gonna be it, like that. Okay, good. And then we can still move this other stuff around. I can put this in here. I should be able to spin that around and make it once I take that other nipple off there. So put that together. I'll show it to you. This is a little fast-paced one. Sorry about that. I mean, it's putting pipes together. I mean, that's not too fucking difficult. Same thing. Just dope it up. I'll fast forward through this though. Don't worry. To be careful, man. You fucking cut your fingers on those. So that's why just get it on there enough to hold it, but don't go too crazy. Oh fuck it, we'll paint it. Why not? Keep it from rusting anyway. I'm gonna paint it anyway, but there we go. Pipe dope all over my phone. Well, that's basically the gist of it there. Go on there like that. And we just tighten that one up. Get that, so this is going to end up like this. And basically, we're going to take this nipple and we're going to put it over here like that. It's going to give us our vent. Throw our vent up there like that, and we're gonna put our fuel center in here. I'm gonna take the measurements. I'll show you that when I do it. I'm just gonna finish putting this together. You don't really need to see that. You'll see it when it's done, so. All right, so here's what it looks like. It's just gonna screw in there like that. So it's gonna be at least 4 inches from the highest point of the surface of the fuel, which it totally is, because obviously you're only gonna use 90% of this tank, so. And even if they overfilled it, I think we'd be pretty close. But not so much worrying about overfilling as we are like rainwater and shit getting in there. That's kind of the driver for all the sealing. So water and shit don't get in here. It's inside an enclosure, but I mean, someone leaves the door open, or you just don't want water in your fuel. So that's why the sealing is important. But, so we're on to the measuring part. All right, so we want to measure how deep it is, right? So this is at the bottom. So we'll take we'll call it 34 inches
And then I usually like to pick it up because you don't want it to go into empty, like when it's empty. You want them to think it's empty, like before it's empty. So to pull it up like a good 3 inches like that. We'll call it, let's call it 31.5 is empty. So remember that, right? Now what's it gonna be when it's full? The way I figure it out, I'll put this here, like that. That's gonna be on the top of where that sensor is. Call it 5.5 inches, and we'll go down like probably another 4 inches from there. So we'll call it 9.5 inches. So that would look like this on the bottom of the sensor. So that would be, I would say that's pretty full at that point. It gives you a little bit of room for expansion and whatnot. So 9.5 inches. Be about right there. So 32.5 on empty, 9.5 on full. Perfect. All right, doing a little painting, so I just douched it down with isopropyl. Wipe this down and get the rust inhibitor shit they put on here off there. I'll poke this in here for now. I'm just gonna use a quick little that's it. Try to keep it off the eye. I mean, this is plastic. I'm gonna go fucking crazy, yeah. Again, you're just trying to keep the water from finding a path to the fuel. You're not really worried about keeping the fuel in. Not in this application, because it's gonna come out of the fill cap before it makes it out of here. We just don't want to have any water getting in there. We can avoid it. I'll just screw that in there. That's it. Just give it a little, like, you know. I mean, it's plastic. Remember, 32.5 on empty, 9.5 on full. So, you can manipulate the numbers. I'll show you how to do that too. Oh God. I mean, the hands, I mean, look at that grip. Come on. Yeah. Nice. Let me get the computer set up and I'll show you how to do that. I want to talk about the wiring. So I just ran the wire here for this thing up into the controller, basically. So what you need here is your red's going to be B+. I would put a B+ all the time because you want it to read the fuel all the time. This is getting hooked into a remote monitoring unit, one of these things. On this wire here, they got this green wire. This is called a ADC wire. Basically gives you like continuous like analog readings all the time. That's why I left this up here. I had to come back because I had to get all that bullshit. But you're gonna have your red is gonna be your B+, black and the shield go together. That's gonna be your ground. Your white is gonna be your signal wire. So that's what's gonna go on that ADC wire, the green wire. It's gonna get connected to that after. These two wires here, the green and the brown, this is for actually how you interface with it through the RS485 adapter, through the software, which I'm going to show you how to use that. So I'll just strip the end off of these just a little bit. And I got like a little thing I made where I put like little roach clips on here, or I'm sorry, alligator clips. But anyway, so when we get to programming it, that's what that'll be. So leave yourself enough wire
to get everywhere you need to be. It's plenty. I'll show you when I'm ready to program it. Very, very easy here, not difficult. All right, I'm gonna do the best I can to show you this. All right, so we got the thing set up. We got it connected on the thing. We got the wire run up to the controller. We got our red on B+ all the time. We got our black and our shield on ground. We got our white wire hooked up to our signal that's going into the remote monitor under that ADC thing. And then you got these are the programming leads. These are like your transmit and your receive for your RS-485 basically. And I don't know, I use this little adapter here. There's a couple different ones. This is like a newer one than I usually use, but one thing you're gonna have to figure out with this is if we go to the software, you can download the software from the Massa website, Ultrasonic or whatever. You can download the software for free and it looks like this here. But one thing you're gonna have to do when you get this is you're gonna have to figure out like what COM port it uses. In order to figure that out, the quickest way to do that is you go to your search bar here, you type in DEV, and that'll bring up your device manager. And then you're gonna go to ports and COM. And this is the way I do it. So you see everything that's listed here. We got the thing plugged in. So it's listed. So I'm gonna unplug it and we'll see what changes. All right, so it looks like COM 4 disappeared. We're gonna plug it back in, I think. All right. Okay, yeah, so it was COM 4, so we know that. So we'll go into the software. And we'll set it for COM 4. It's actually already set on COM 4, but to do that, though, you would go to settings, you would go to COM port, and you would just put in the COM port here. Okay, so, all right, so it's connected. You can tell it's connected. It's saying that it's 8.26 inches away, all right? So I know that this thing is slightly overfilled, all right? Remember I was saying 9.5, all right? If we look at this thing, this gauge here, this actually goes to the controller. You can't even see, there's supposed to be a needle here, but it's fucking buried in behind here because it's so full. So we're gonna stick with our original 9.5. So we want to go with output. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, what we want here is we want an output of 10 volts when it's full. So remember we said 9.5 inches is going to be our full height. Right now it's slightly overfilled. And then for 0 volts we want 0 volts when it's empty. And remember what we said empty was? We said it was like 32.5. Alright. And we raise it up a little bit so they kind of think they're going to run out of fuel before they actually are. Hopefully they never get themselves in that situation, but it's just more of a kind of thing to grab their attention. This thing's programmed so like when it gets to like 50%, it starts going into like sending little text and alarms letting them know that the fuel is low. So that's basically it. So you just type your numbers in here. I'm gonna go 9. Actually, I'm gonna stick to 9.25. I mean, that's you know, you don't overfill these things. Hit program. You'll know it's programmed. You'll see the values populate up here. So basically it's telling you that right now the distance from the tip of the sensor to the top of the fuel is 8.27 inches, right? So remember it's slightly overfilled. So that's why it says, and it's giving you 10 volts. That's going to basically correlate to 100%. 9 volts would be 90%, 8 volts would be 80%, 5 volts would be 50%, 0 volts would be empty. As indicated here, 32 inches, output of 0 volts, that's letting you know that basically it's going to be empty, and it actually gives you the temperature and stuff too. So that's basically it. Once you get that, just neaten this mess up, and you can disconnect this. I just leave these on here. You can cut them if you want, because I mean realistically you're not going to use these again unless you reprogram it. So I'll probably end up just cutting these off here and then just tucking them in there. Yeah, that's it. Done deal. Whoop. Gonna paint the front. That's all there is to it.